Good day. My name is Martin Halliwell. I'm an inventor with significant experience in the foundation industry since 1982. And in the last 5 years, I've developed a series of patents that I think are, in their own right, game changers. Patent number one is the FeBTU cell. So the FeBTU cell is a geothermal done with a drilled shaft. Now, geothermals are typically done with mud drilling at slow production rates and slow return on energy, COP, coefficient of performance. And with our system, where we can add a windmill, but even without a windmill, the COP is 5. So we're twice as efficient. And we can scale our systems. So we're able to do large volume water evaporation, which creates more production per day for the investment in drill rigs. The second patent I'd like to talk about is the FE solar curb. I actually have 4 of these on my building in Godridge. And the FE solar curb is basically an aluminum box that raises the solar panels so that the snow will melt through the winter. I had a property once where the panels never melted all winter. Standard solar panels on a building. And the FE solar curb, because of the nature of the box, and originally I wrote up the patent with a fan and a duct heater, and I got that patented, but I found that it works because of the box. The box raises it up, it's quick to install. You can put on 4 solar panels in one location. One curb is 4 solar panels, and you can put that on in 5 minutes and just put a lag screw to the shingle roof. So the self-cleaning, roof-friendly mount, and air-cooled by design. The third patent I'd like to talk about is FE GeoWind. So I got the idea of having a windmill because I had a large diameter drilled shaft. I could put a windmill there, and I could do 5 and 10 kilowatt. So a windmill typically runs often on high pole magnet motors in a standard, yes?
Look at the camera.
In a standard, I guess if you put your hand up, just
Yeah, I was just trying to
yeah.
get your
You were
attention.
looking down, so you didn't see.
Yeah.
But
I tend to.
just start with FE GeoWind. So you don't have to start from the beginning, but we'll just start here, and then I'll be able to edit it together.
The third patent I'd like to talk about is FE GeoWind. So the advantage of a drilled shaft is that I'm able to put a windmill in that large shaft, and I brace the windmill off the evaporative stone and also put a concrete plug in the bottom. So we can do 5 10-ton units in a day with a caisson rig versus 1 2.5-ton units with a mud drilling machine, standard geothermal. So we're advocating the efficiency and the productivity are significant benefits to the FeBTU cell. And the fact that we're the only geothermal that's got a windmill. So the FE GeoWind is the windmill. And you can get a tower height, and you see the high pole magnet motors. Power output, it depends on the magnets in the motor. You take a standard motor, you machine out the motor, and you put in magnets. And we did that at test site 1 in Godridge. And we could test the concept, even though we had a high water table. We're planning to do another test in the coming weeks at a job we call the mushroom farm. And that, we believe, will allow us to scale up to 10-ton, get an open shaft, seal the open shaft, and proof of concept will be reinforced in what we call test site 2. The FECS Meta wall shotcrete is a patent that I was working on relative to coming up with components of a concrete mix that would prevent any cracks. So we use basaltic fiber and colloidal silica, and there's advances going on today on our mix because we've tapped into the world concrete patent, Chem Concrete. Chem Concrete Hybrid 5 Nano is actually beads water. So we're going to talk a little bit about where that is particularly useful in my shotcrete walls that make up FeH2O lock, which is 2 5-inch layers of shotcrete. Here we talk about FECS Meta slab concrete. So I basically can perfect a crack-free slab, and we registered the trademarks, and I continue to advance in concrete technology with Chem Concrete. FeH2O lock, which is a waterproof wall. So in Toronto today, and in North America in many locations, they use secant piles. And secant piles are typically 1 meter diameter. They interlock with hopscotching down a wall. The issue is that they often leak, and there's other layers that have to go on that. So our FeH2O lock with 2 5-inch layers of shotcrete in a bypass configuration, a double bypass configuration, allows us to save $100 a square foot over a secant wall. And this is a particularly strong, applicable patent for what's going on in Toronto. My plan is to involve Green Infrastructure Partners and Keller, 2 of the biggest companies in Canada, to provide the technology push that's needed for the savings that's afforded. Today, that market is very tight, and you really don't have any margin. So this is a margin creator, as all my patents are. We create margin for a special foundation contractor. I started the firm HCM. Today they're well known and one of the main competitors, and they would put it in secant walls. Patent 7 is FeHD plank, and this patent is an interesting culvert repair patent. So I got involved with the 407, gave them a proposal. It ended up getting me 2 patents. FeHD plank, which is a high density plastic pre-curved system, and you can build it by hand. That was the second patent on that is FE Spiral. So FE Spiral is also trademarked, and basically you take 2 lengths of 5mm basaltic rope and you double Dutch skipping with it, and you wrap the HD plank, and you're able to grout that and get a 75-year life. We modeled it for 75 years. So Matt James is somebody I work closely with. Again, another key engineer, and Matt did that in Plaxis. FE Tremi is a patent that basically allows me to mix environmental fluids consistently together. It's a simple patent, but it's effective because it's hard to mix things together without control. So you have the ability of controlling the FE Tremi. My patents are found at footprintengineering.ca, and we'll also provide further illustrations today from CH Shotcrete, which I look forward to explaining some of the finer details of FeH2O lock and the 2 5-inch layers, which arguably will be a a welcome patent by the companies that are going to be involved. FECM pile. We'll see these in the blue PowerPoint coming up, but the FECM pile is a combined modulus pile, and the idea would be that we were able to place stone and pack it. Often with caissons, it involves hand cleaning, but what happened several years ago is one of the laborers got knocked down the hole, and they ended up being augured out by the caisson machine. It's an unfortunate incident. I actually knew the guy. And so that particular incident caused the Ministry of Labor to say you can no longer go down caisson holes. So this addresses the advantage of a higher bearing capacity that comes from clear stone. When you drop clear stone down and tap it with the HSS pipe, you're able to tighten that up, and then we usually would load test 1 out of 100 piles. And this is a particularly good patent. My patent agent thought it was probably my best patent. He's learned a lot about foundations from me lately. So the load capacity, 100 to 250 tons. Mobilizing the base and shaft friction as one combined modulus unit, i.e. combined modulus pile. FE Heligen is an interesting patent. And basically, sometimes when you're in ground that is wet, I had the innovation of saying, well, if I put in a large diameter helical, then I can avoid the toe where it's wet. And normally that would be removed with a fair bit of effort in drilled shafts. But the FE Heligen pile allows me to screw it down to not have to remove soil under a water table, but yet I could still revert that system to FeH2O lock, where I could actually put double bypass shotcrete on it, which is going to create a high modulus. And again, these are available in detail on footprintengineering.ca.